My name is Dan Smythe, and I came back 2 weeks ago from one of the most exciting adventures the Lord has ever given me the privilege of being a part of. We came back, we spent 2 weeks in Ranchi and Indore, India. I've never come back from a trip where I felt like the doors were so wide open for what God is calling us to do as I did when I came back from India. And the reasons for that, I think there's 4 reasons. First of all, the people with whom I went. Secondly, the prayer we had in our hearts as we went. Thirdly, the people we connected with while we were there. And fourthly, where they live in the world. The people with whom I went. I went with Pastor Kim, my first trip with Kim, with Kate Ryan, with Pastor Justin Manzi of Abbotsford Christ the King. We were such a unified team, and the prayer we had in our hearts as we went into the country was that God would crystallize, clarify the vision that He wants us to pursue in India. There's already a foundation that's been put in place, but we went with that as our heart's passion, and He answered that prayer in a glorious way. Thirdly, we connected with people. We reconnected with Alex and Sherry Halsey, with Ramchand. These are people who serve with Youth with a Mission there in India. Key leaders there in Indore and Ranchi that we can now continue to work forward into the future with. And then finally, the location where we were. We were able to train 280 church leaders, men and women, church planters, in 2 conferences. And these are men and women who are sacrificial in their heart. They're committed to planting churches, to taking the gospel of Jesus Christ and changing their nation. And we had the privilege of ministering to them and teaching them. We were in the northern part of India. Let's do the math for just a minute. The Joshua Project is the international ministry that researches and monitors the unreached people groups of the world. And the top 3 countries of the world in terms of unreached people groups are India first, Pakistan second, and China third. China has 404 unreached people groups. That's a lot of unreached people groups. That's number 3. Number 2, Pakistan has 471 unreached people groups. That's a lot. India has 2,084 unreached people groups, people that do not have the gospel available to them in their own language, a church presence that they can connect to in their community. It's not there. So India is the most unreached people group country in the world. And we were in the Hindi belt of northern India. That means where Hindi is the language spoken, the northern part of the country, which has the highest concentration of unreached people groups of anywhere in India. So while we were there, He clarified the vision that He wants us to pursue of equipping church leaders, church planters, seeing the devastation of the devaluing of life transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ in the lives of the men and women of India. The thing that I'm so excited about is that when you invest in a church leader, a church planter, you resource them, equip them, disciple, mentor them. That impacts the church they lead. When you impact the families of the church that they lead, you impact the village in which that church is located. When you impact that village, you impact all of the network of other villages with which that village interfaces in their community, in their country. And when you change and impact a network of villages, you impact a nation. But it all starts with building into the lives of church leaders who are leading the movement. That's how God's kingdom spreads. And we have the privilege of doing that in new and far-reaching ways this coming year in India. I am so excited. Wow, has God opened the doors wide.